What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to The Order. Gotham Knights is out, and I've been able to put in a fair amount of hours into the game, and there's a lot to talk about. I've had a lot of people coming by my Twitch channel asking me, hey, so is this game worth buying? So I'm going to try to answer that in this video. Specifically, I want to touch on this game's performance on the PS5 and whether or not console players should dive right into it or wait for a sale. If you're on the fence about purchasing Gotham Knights, this is the video for you. So let's start with the good of Gotham Knights, and honestly, there's plenty to love about this game. The overall storytelling is just really solid. The game's narrative is perfectly filtered through the lens of a mystery detective story, which feels so authentic to the Batman universe. Really, the overall feel of this game just feels right. WB Games Montreal have plenty of history navigating the streets of Gotham, having worked on Arkham Origins, and that experience shows. Running around the expanse of Gotham City in this game really captures the ideal of being a vigilante, hopping across rooftops, scoping out the situation, and jumping into the fray, especially when running around alongside another hero, which I'll touch on in a bit. The dynamic between the various members of the Bat family feels true to their comic depictions, and they do genuinely feel like a family. These characters have a deep shared history together, and that really comes through in both the writing and the performances. Some of the voices take some time getting used to, but I really feel like that's because some of these characters have such iconic animated depictions whose voices we've grown accustomed to. Honestly, look, if you're a big fan of these characters and of the DC universe or Batman comics in general, I really think you're going to love this game. It's just oozing in Gotham goodness. Beating the absolute crap out of criminals as Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, or Robin is just simply satisfying. Speaking of which, let's talk about the combat in this game. The combat system is deceptively simple. While there's no countering like in the Arkham games, the way this game utilizes evading makes up for it a bit, as nailing perfect evades and perfect attacks adds a nice bit of depth to the mix. Throw in momentum abilities, ranged attacks, grabbing, silent takedowns, and more, you really can approach each encounter in a variety of ways. The game has a heavy emphasis on its RPG elements, as each character has a total of 4 skill trees to play with and multiple ways to shape and reshape your playstyle. Gearing and customization is also fairly robust and builds on itself as the game progresses. And unlike, say, Marvel's Avengers, the gear in this game feels impactful and actually changes your look. That's a plus. But arguably my favorite part about this game might just be its cooperative element. It also might be the cause of the game's biggest issue, but more on that later. Co-op in Gotham Knights really elevates the overall experience. Fighting alongside a friend takes the game to another level, as it truly makes you feel like a crime-fighting tag team. The most satisfying moments playing this game have come from dropping in on enemies with my friend on one side and me on the other, taking them down cohesively like something you'd see in a comic or animated show. It's just cool, guys. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. It's just a really, really cool feeling. And because co-op is untethered, again, more on this in a second, it means the two of you can be anywhere in the open world, stopping crimes, gaining XP without having to be in the exact same location. Like I said, there's a lot to love about this game, and I've thoroughly enjoyed building out my character, zipping around Gotham, solving cases, and pummeling bad guys. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the game's frame rate on consoles. I'm gonna cut to the chase here, people. It's bad. Like, really, really bad. Like, I really didn't think it'd be this bad, but it is. The problem isn't that the game is locked at 30 FPS, it's that it dips below 30 FPS and does so often. There are many times, way too many times, when this game is just downright hard to look at. It's 2022, I mean, look at this. I feel like the issues are compounded when playing in co-op and seem to worsen whenever me and my friend weren't in the same area, which seems to be confirmed by the fact that in the Gotham Knights Discord announcement about the 30 FPS lock, it was stated that the untethered co-op experience was one of, if not the reason, why the game could not run at a higher frame rate on consoles. The quality is just brutal and leads to a murky and ugly visual presentation. And for a game that relies on quick timing evades and zipping through tight streets and alleyways on the bat cycle, it genuinely makes the game harder to play, and that's just maddening to me. And no, there is no performance mode in the game on PS5, and there's no confirmation that this is something being actively worked on for consoles. It really feels like we're kind of just stuck with it. It's simply unacceptable. Like, I'm not gonna mince words. It is simply unacceptable for a next-gen title to look like this. For all the good that Gotham Knights does, its overall visual performance comes very close to undermining the entire experience. So honestly, it comes down to this. If you're a fan of these characters and of this universe, this is a hard game to pass on. It's dripping in that Bat family lore, and there's a lot to love about the overall gameplay experience. But with no fix coming in sight for console players, this game's performance is rough enough to suggest completely holding off on purchasing the game until it's simply more reasonably priced. Those are my overall thoughts on Gotham Knights. If you found this video helpful or insightful at all, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more news and updates on the game and beyond. And if you ever want to catch me live, be sure to follow me over on Twitch. I'm live throughout the week, so yeah, I'd love to see you there. Till next time, have a good one.